Alright, today I'm going over fights that aged well in the UFC. A fight that aged well means that Fighter A beat Fighter B, and Fighter B, he went on to have a really good career, or a really great win streak. To start this off, I'm going to go over Stephen Thompson versus Robert Whitaker. In this fight, Stephen Thompson would knock out Robert Whitaker in the first round. Stephen Thompson, he's widely known as one of the best strikers in UFC history, but he's not known as a guy who knocks people out all the time. In this fight, he did finish Robert Whitaker in the first round. Robert Whitaker would then go on to the middleweight division, where he beat Yoel Romero twice. You know, Yoel Romero, he's known as this guy with a lot of power. He's a genetic freak of a human being, but for 10 rounds, he couldn't finish Robert Whitaker. Other than Yoel Romero, he would go on to beat Marvin Vettori, Kevin Gastelum, Darren Till, Jared Cannonier, and become one of the best middleweights of all time. Now, moving on to our next fight that aged well. Actually, this can go into a fighter who's just good at getting fights that age very well. We got Paul Craig. On 5 separate occasions, he's been beat by guys who just got their first UFC win, but he's been able to beat an undefeated guy who went on to the championship level not once but twice, in Jamal Hill and Magomed Ankalaev. He finished both of them. We could go on to another guy who's pretty similar to that, and Michael Johnson. He would beat Tony Ferguson before his infamous 12-fight winning streak. He would also flatline KO Dustin Poirier, and that would not happen again until Dustin Poirier fought Justin Gaethje. Both of these guys went on to beat pretty much everybody in the lightweight division. He's also had trouble with guys in a lower division, getting knocked out by Josh Emmett. So yeah, he's very similar to Paul Craig in that regard. Next, we could go into a fighter who's been on the losing side of these examples, and Charles Oliveira. He's been finished by Jim Miller, Donald Cerrone. He was outclassed by Frankie Edgar. He got brutalized by Paul Felder, and then he went on to submit Dustin Poirier, knock out Michael Chandler, submit Kevin Lee, dominate Tony Ferguson, submit Justin Gaethje in the first round. He had a complete turnaround in his career, and everybody who beat him in the beginning of his career. Next, we go into another fight that not too many people talk about a lot, which I'm very surprised. These are two very big names, and a lot of people don't seem to mention the fact that they fought. When it comes to Dominick Cruz versus Demetrious Johnson, Dominick Cruz would be the last guy to beat Demetrious Johnson before he went on his crazy winning streak at flyweight, where he would get 11 consecutive title defenses, most in UFC history, and have a career that puts him up there as possibly the greatest mixed martial arts fighter ever. And Dominick Cruz was the last guy to beat him. He beat him in a championship fight for the bantamweight belt. He would school him, kinda. He really showed that he was way better than him. He hit some awesome suplexes against him. It was a great fight, and it's an amazing win. Thank you for watching this video. I'm planning on releasing many more. Stay tuned. It's only going to get better from here.